A lot of YouTubers are currently making videos about how exciting their lives are, which shows us what it's like to live every day to the best. During our chat today, we'll talk about the history of the Crockers, a well-liked family that has won the hearts of a lot of people. The Crocker family is a good example of how living a simple life can be valuable. Because they love living a simple life so much, this family is eager to share the joys of their life with people all over the world. People who watch the Crockers regularly probably know that Jason and Danielle are in charge of their YouTube account. This fun-loving group lives off the grid on a peaceful ranch in the northeastern part of Oklahoma. They are determined to make their own rules and live their lives their way. Their choice to stay away from the hustle and bustle of city life paints a clear picture of a pair who could have easily made a home in a busy city, but instead chose to live close to nature. Their simple but deep off-grid and homesteading lifestyle is what makes them stand out from the crowd of YouTubers who work in the same field as them. At the heart of what they say are honesty, sincerity, the importance of being simple, and the peace that can come from peace. Even though people often paint a pretty picture of living off the grid, Jason and Danielle show a more realistic side of it by focusing on both the appeal and the challenges of this way of life. Their journey is full of hard work, and it's all about building a life that is deeply connected to their ranch and the animals they love there. But Jason's life wasn't always as good as it seems right now. Before the story with Danielle started, he was married to Jelena Darcel, who was in the movie Leave Her Wild. Even though they get along well now, Jason was honest about how hard it was for him when they were apart. Jason Crocker's life and work show what it means to be hopeful and optimistic. He has shown how strong-willed he is by talking openly about his difficult past, in which he lost everything from relationships to people he cared about. He thinks that the way life goes is uncertain, but that how we respond to it is what makes our fate. He has learned this from his own life. Using this rule as a guide, he and Danielle took a simple piece of land and turned it into a successful ranch that they had to build from the ground up. They recently broadened their sights by buying a 60-acre property and building a tiny house that doesn't use electricity. They are hopeful about the future and want to make a good life for themselves. The fact that their tiny house is built on top of an oil field might be something that interests you. They had to think about selling the land because this finding caused a lot of problems, even though it could have been a good way to make money. Jason is an expert at managing buildings, and he is also a big fan of do-it-yourself projects. He is always working on projects that make living conditions better. As part of their lifestyle of being self-sufficient, they raise their own cows, chickens, goats, and pigs. Watermelon, cantaloupe, bell peppers, and cucumbers are some of the fruits and veggies they grow. On the other hand, life without electricity isn't always easy. They had to deal with natural disasters like the terrible Oklahoma storm, which did a lot of damage to their farm. Jason and Danielle have been seeing each other for more than a year, but they just recently got engaged in their private lives. The couple doesn't say that they won't have kids in the near future. Jason Crocker's brother, Jared Crocker, is also part of the Crocker family, and he sometimes posts on their YouTube account. Jared also has his own YouTube account called South Texas Roots. In a word, the Crockers show that being real, not giving up, and working hard can pay off in the long run. They show that life is full of problems, but our level of determination decides where we end up. They do this by talking about how they overcame problems. We would really like to hear what you think about Jason and Danielle Crocker's inspiring story. We're glad you could come, and we're looking forward to our next meeting.